far beyond the spiral arms of the Milky Way. The great Galactic Council gathered in their shining hall of glass and gold. Representatives from 100 alien species sat around a vast circular table, each carrying the weight of their world's pride and history. In the center, a glowing map of the galaxy spun slowly, and one small blue planet shimmered near the edge, Earth. Many of the council members laughed softly when its name appeared. "Humans," said a tall insectoid delegate with sharp eyes, "always smiling, always talking about peace. They send songs and art instead of soldiers," said another. "They think kindness will save them." The room filled with quiet amusement, the kind that hides both arrogance and fear. But one voice broke the laughter. Ambassador Thrix, a gray-scaled being from the Varnak system, leaned forward, his tone serious. "You misunderstand them," he said slowly. "Humans are not weak. They are patient." The council fell silent for a moment. But then someone waved a hand dismissively. "Patient or powerless? It makes no difference," a reptilian general said. "They have no fleets worth mentioning, no colonies beyond their small system." "Then perhaps," Thrix replied, "you should ask the pirates who tried to raid their moon base last year." The room grew still. Everyone had heard the rumors. An entire pirate armada had vanished without a trace near Earth's orbit. No distress signals, no wreckage, nothing. The official report called it a spatial accident, but Thrix wasn't convinced. He had seen human eyes before. Calm but sharp, always watching, always learning meanwhile. Far from the council's grand chambers, life on Earth moved in quiet rhythm. Children laughed in schools, scientists worked in shining labs, and farmers tilled fields under blue skies. To anyone watching from space, it looked like a planet that had never known war. Yet deep underground, hidden beneath layers of rock and silence, the truth was different. In the Human Defense Command, Captain Alara Miles studied strange signals coming from the outer systems. They were encrypted messages from the Council, talk of monitoring human expansion. Her assistant frowned. "Do they still think we're harmless?" Alara smiled. "Let them think that," she said softly. "It's better that way." Humanity had learned long ago that real strength was not in showing power, but in controlling it. They had built technologies centuries ahead of what the Council believed possible. Quantum drives, gravitational shields, and weapons that could erase a fleet without leaving debris. But they used none of it unless absolutely necessary. For Earth remembered its own history, wars, chaos, and pain, and had sworn never to become what it once feared. Back in the Council chamber, new reports began to arrive. Outposts near human space had gone silent. Patrol ships found only empty regions filled with faint radiation. Some believed it was pirates again. Others whispered about human interference. Ambassador Thrix read the data carefully, his expression darkening. "Do not provoke them," he warned. "You do not know what sleeps beneath that blue sky." But the Council had grown comfortable in its power for thousands of years. They had ruled the stars unchallenged. To them, Earth was just another young species trying to find its place. They voted to send a small inspection fleet to observe human activity, a polite way of saying they would spy. When the human satellites detected the fleet entering the system, there was no panic, no alarms, no threats. Instead, Earth sent a calm transmission, welcoming the visitors and offering assistance. The Council ships landed in orbit, expecting resistance, but found kindness. Human diplomats smiled, offering fresh supplies and open communication. One alien captain, confused by the generosity, asked a human officer, "Why are you not afraid of us?" The officer replied with a gentle grin, "Because we don't need to be." The words were simple, but the tone made the captain uneasy. It was the sound of confidence, quiet, unshaken confidence. As the fleet orbited Earth, The alien scientists observed something strange. Human energy grids fluctuated with perfect precision. Cities powered by clean, limitless fusion energy. And planetary defense systems hidden behind layers of civilian structures. They realized humanity's peace was not weakness. It was discipline. Every city could transform into a fortress within minutes. Every satellite was a shield. Every research station a weapon in disguise. The lead investigator sent a report back to the council. He wrote, "Earth appears peaceful, but something here feels contained, as if the planet itself is holding its breath." The council dismissed the feeling. But Thrix read the message inside. "They are testing you," he murmured. "And you are walking right into their hands." As the sun set over Earth, Captain Alara stood on the balcony of the orbital command tower. Watching the alien ships drift above the clouds, she whispered, "They think we're playing nice." Her second-in-command nodded. "Should we warn the council?" Alara shook her head, her eyes cold and thoughtful. "No," she said. "Let them find out the hard way, down on Earth." The people went about their lives as always, peaceful, creative, curious. But behind every smile and handshake, the planet waited for the day when the galaxy would finally understand what humanity truly was. Not weak, not naive, but merciful, and mercy, when tested, could become the most dangerous power of all. The Galactic Council's observation fleet remained in orbit around Earth for 10 days. Every day, their scanners recorded thousands of signals. Yet none of them seemed threatening. Human cities glowed peacefully below, their lights forming patterns across the continents. The aliens could see oceans, forests, and sky, but no sign of military fleets or war machines. Commander Girac of the Council Fleet frowned at his reports. "Nothing," he said in disbelief. "No warships, no heavy defenses. Only transport craft and science vessels." His advisor replied quietly, "Maybe that is their defense, to look harmless." Girac ignored him, focusing on the screens that showed smiling humans greeting alien ambassadors on the surface. Down on Earth, the human government had opened its doors to the visitors. They gave tours of research centers, universities, and peace academies. The aliens were impressed by human art, by their technology for medicine and energy. They could not understand how such a peaceful race survived in a galaxy ruled by power. In the capital city of New Geneva, Dr. Elara Miles, the same officer who had warned about the council, was assigned to guide the alien delegation. She walked them through the Global Science Complex, a massive facility powered by solar and fusion energy. Aliens stared in awe as they saw human machines that could heal broken bones in seconds and grow food in desserts. "You humans are remarkable," said one alien scientist. "But why waste this brilliance on peace instead of power?" Alara smiled kindly. "Because peace builds what war destroys." Her answer confused them. The council races believed peace existed only through control. Yet humans seemed to live freely, without fear, without domination. They laughed together, worked together, even shared technology openly. But beneath that kindness, there was a strange calm, the calm of a predator that does not need to prove its strength. As the tour continued, the aliens noticed something odd. Every human scientist carried a small badge that emitted a faint pulse. When scanned, it showed no known energy signature. Dr. Miles explained, "It's just a personal data module." But the readings told a different story, a type of quantum encryption never seen before. The aliens made a note to investigate further. Later that night, Commander Girac reviewed all gathered data. He tapped his claws on the console, deep in thought. "Every technology they show us is peaceful," he said. "But it feels like a curtain," his advisor nodded. "Yes, a curtain hiding something powerful. Perhaps we should search deeper," Girac said. "Maybe underground, unbeknownst to them." The humans were already aware of every scan. Hidden defense satellites tracked the alien ships, analyzing every move deep within the Earth Defense Network. Alara watched the incoming data. "They're looking for something," her assistant said. "Yes," she replied, "and they're about to find it." The next day, the alien delegation requested to visit the lunar research facility. The humans agreed without hesitation. As their shuttle descended on the moon's surface, the aliens saw huge domes glimmering in the sunlight. Inside were scientists, engineers, and students, all working quietly, peacefully. Then one alien noticed a massive gate built into the moon's surface. "What is that?" he asked. "A storage area," Alara replied. Smiling again, "Nothing dangerous." But as the aliens passed near it, their scanners went wild. The readings were beyond comprehension. A surge of energy strong enough to power a fleet. They turned to Alara, but her expression remained calm. "You shouldn't scan that," she said softly. "Some doors are better left closed." The aliens exchanged uneasy glances. For the first time, they felt true fear. That night, in secret, Gerak sent a coded message to the Council. "Humanity is not what it seems," he wrote. "I believe they possess weapons beyond our understanding." But before the message could leave orbit, the transmission vanished. The communication officer looked at Gerak in shock. "The signal, it's gone, sir. Completely erased." "By who?" No answer came, only static. Gerak stared out at Earth below. Its oceans glowing under the sun. "It's beautiful," he whispered, "and terrifying on Earth." Dr. Miles reported to the Defense Council. "They've seen enough," she said. "Soon they'll return and report their fears." An old general nodded. "Should we hide more?" Alara shook her head. "No, we've hidden enough. They need to know we are not weak, just restrained." Back aboard the Council fleet, the alien scientists argued through the night. Some believed humans were bluffing. Others wanted to retreat immediately. Gerak remained silent. Replaying his scans again and again, he saw one brief image, a flash behind that lunar gate. Something massive, metallic, and alive. He couldn't tell what it was, but he knew it wasn't meant to be seen. As the fleet prepared to leave Earth's orbit, a soft transmission came from the planet. A human voice spoke calmly. "Thank you for visiting Earth, Commander. We hope you enjoyed your stay." Gerak hesitated, then asked, "You knew we were scanning your base, didn't you?" The voice chuckled lightly. "Of course we did." Static filled the channel for a moment, and the voice added, "We just wanted you to see enough to make you think." When the transmission ended, the commander sat in silence. He finally understood what Thrix had meant. Humans were not showing power. They were showing restraint. The fleet turned away, leaving Earth behind, but deep down, Gerak knew the Council would not stop there. Curiosity was dangerous, and pride even more so. On the moon, beneath the silver dust and stone, massive engines stirred quietly. Rows of silent warships waited in darkness. Powered by something beyond physics, each ship bore no name. Only one symbol, a blue circle with a white star. Dr. Miles stood before them, hands folded behind her back. "Let them believe what they want," she whispered. "When they truly threaten us, they'll understand what mercy has been protecting them from." And above the blue planet, the stars seemed to shimmer brighter, as if they too knew that Earth was only pretending to be small. The Galactic Council received the report from Commander Gerak 2 weeks later. The message was full of uncertainty and fear. It spoke of strange human technology, hidden energy readings, and quiet warnings. But the Council dismissed it. They called it paranoia. They believed humans were too young, too peaceful, too unorganized to be dangerous. Yet not everyone agreed. Ambassador Thrix rose in the assembly, his voice calm but firm. "You are making a mistake," he said. Commander Gerak saw what he was meant to see. The others laughed. "Thrix, you have always admired the humans," said a bulky reptilian delegate. "But they are harmless." "Harmless?" Thrix asked. "Then explain why their systems eat our signals, why their transmissions vanish, and why every attempt to spy ends in silence." The room went quiet for a moment. But then pride won again. "No primitive world can hide from us," said the Chancellor. "We will send another fleet, this time larger." And so they did. The Council authorized a peacekeeping mission of 200 ships. Officially, it was to maintain galactic stability near Earth. Unofficially, it was to test how far humanity would tolerate intrusion. When the fleet arrived in the Sol system, Earth sent a friendly greeting. "Welcome to our home," said the transmission. "If you need fuel or rest, we will help." The voice was calm, pleasant, even cheerful. The fleet commanders laughed. "They really believe in peace," one said. Pathetic, but there was one captain who didn't laugh. A quiet amphibian officer named Reth, who had read Gerak's full report. He remembered the warnings about silence, about the hidden strength. He ordered his crew to remain alert. "Humans smile when they have nothing to fear," he told them. Remember that. For a few days, everything seemed peaceful. The Council ships hovered near the moon. Observing, recording, humans offered assistance. Sharing food and fuel as they always did, the aliens found them polite, even generous. But then, everything changed. One Council ship, the Varney's Pride, sent a probe near a restricted human area, a research station orbiting Mars. The humans sent a warning, calm and polite. "Please withdraw the probe. This is a private sector." The captain of the Varney's Pride ignored it. He ordered the probe closer, laughing at the message. Moments later, the probe vanished from every scanner. No explosion, no signal, just gone, angry and embarrassed. The captain ordered his crew to send another, this time. The probe reached the station and collided with it. The small impact tore through the hull, killing 7 human researchers. The Council fleet called it an accident. But to humanity, it was a line crossed, back on Earth. The World Defense Council gathered in silence. No one shouted, no one cursed. They simply listened to the report, the images of the destroyed station, and the names of the dead. Finally, Dr. Elara Miles spoke. "Do we respond?" asked one general. Elara looked at him, her eyes cold as steel. "No," she said softly. "Not yet." The world carried on as usual. News channels reported the accident, citizens mourned, and the Council apologized publicly, but the human military began to move in silence. One by one, deep space beacons went offline. The orbital defense grid entered maintenance mode, and thousands of signals disappeared. Within hours, every major human warship vanished from known locations. The Galactic Council noticed. "What are they doing?" asked the Chancellor, watching the human system fade from their sensors. "They are hiding," someone replied. "Hiding what?" No one had the answer in the dark corners of human space. The vanished fleets gathered. Massive ships the size of continents drifted silently. Cloaked in invisible fields, crew members spoke in whispers. Engines hummed in low tones. They waited for orders from Central Command. Elara stood in the command chamber, staring at a hologram of the solar system. She traced the alien fleet's position with her finger. "They are testing us," she said quietly. "Let them think we are afraid." Her second-in-command frowned. "And when they come closer?" Elara smiled faintly. "Then we'll remind them what fear really means." Back in orbit, the Council fleet noticed strange phenomena. Their communication channels began to echo. Their sensors started showing false readings. Stars flickered in unnatural patterns. The humans said nothing. They only watched. 3 days later, the Council flagship attempted to contact Earth again. Human government, "We regret the unfortunate loss of your research team," said the message. "We propose a joint investigation." No answer came. "Repeat transmission," the commander ordered. Still silence. On the fourth attempt, a single human response arrived, a simple text across every frequency. "Your apology has been received. Please leave our space," the commander sneered. "Arrogant primitives," he muttered, and ordered his fleet closer. But the moment the ships crossed into human territory, their systems flickered. Lights dimmed, engines faltered, communications failed. Panic spread through the fleet, one by one. Ships lost control and began drifting. It was as if the very void around them had come alive on the Council homeworld. Ambassador Thrix received a private message from an unknown source. It contained only 3 words. "They are awake." He closed his eyes, whispering, "You fools, you finally did it." Out near the edge of the solar system, hidden beneath layers of dark energy fields, the human fleet waited. Thousands of ships stood ready, silent and unseen. Elara watched from her command seat. "Hold position," she said. "No attack." "Not yet." Her crew obeyed without question. They all understood. Humanity didn't start wars, but it knew how to end them. Above the quiet planet Earth, the Council fleet floated helplessly, their instruments dead, their fear rising. For the first time, they realized that maybe, just maybe, the humans hadn't been playing nice at all. Maybe they had just been waiting for this moment. The Galactic Council had never known fear until that day. Their mighty fleet floated helplessly above the blue planet. Every system dark, every channel filled with silence. Ships that once glowed with pride now drifted like ghosts through the void. The commanders shouted orders, but nothing answered. Engines failed, weapons froze, and the stars themselves seemed to dim around them. From the Council homeworld, leaders demanded updates. No one could explain what was happening. Their sensors showed nothing. Their probes vanished. All they knew was that the humans had stopped talking. And when humans stopped talking, something terrible followed. Deep beneath the surface of Earth, in the Hidden Defense Command, Dia Elara Miles stood before a massive holographic display. The enemy fleet shimmered above the planet like silver dust. "Status," she said calmly. "All systems ready," her officer replied. "Cloaked fleets in position, waiting for authorization." Elara looked at the stars on the screen, each one representing a hidden human warship. "Hold for my mark," she said. "Let them feel the silence a little longer." In orbit, Commander Ref, a cautious amphibian captain, tried to regain control of his ship. "Manual override," he barked. "Reset navigation." Nothing worked. Then, out of the black, a faint blue glow appeared before his vessel. A shape, metallic yet graceful, emerged from the shadows. A human dreadnought, its hull shimmered like liquid glass. Completely silent, completely still, Ref stared in awe. "It's beautiful," he whispered. Then the ship vanished, simply gone, leaving behind only the echo of power across the fleet, one by one. Alien ships reported the same vision, a momentary glimpse of massive vessels appearing and disappearing like ghosts. Some believed it was illusion. Others called it magic, but Elara knew the truth. It was quantum phase technology, something humanity had developed a century ago and kept secret. They could be everywhere and nowhere at once. No scanner could track them. No shield could stop them. The Council fleet began sending distress calls, but the messages never left the system. They bounced endlessly between satellites and died in static. The humans had closed every exit. The Sol system was now a cage. Elara gave the order. "Phase 1, she said instantly. Hundreds of invisible ships decloaked in perfect formation, surrounding the alien fleet. The humans didn't fire. They only appeared. Their presence alone enough to freeze every alien heart. Thousands of silver-white hulls reflected sunlight, a halo around Earth. The council commanders stared in disbelief. This can't be real," whispered one. "They don't have this kind of power, but they did, and they had always kept it hidden." Alara opened a communication line to the council flagship. A human face appeared on every alien screen, calm, serious, and without anger. "This is Earth Command," she said. "You entered restricted space, destroyed our station, and ignored our warnings." Her voice was steady, every word clear. "We desired peace, we still do. But peace cannot exist without respect." The aliens tried to reply, but their microphones refused to transmit. Alara continued, "You wanted to see our power. Now you have." A soft hum echoed across the void. The human ships powered their cores. Blue light spreading through the darkness. No missiles. No beams, just silent energy building like a storm. Then, without warning, 3 council warships vanished into dust. No explosion, no debris, only silence. The message was clear. Back on the council homeworld, chaos erupted. Admirals shouted over one another. Leaders demanded surrender. Ambassador Thrix watched the panic and whispered, "They warned you, and now they're showing mercy." In orbit, Commander Reth's ship flickered with light. His screens filled with a human transmission. A single sentence appeared in glowing text. "Stand down, Commander. This is not your war." He hesitated, then ordered his crew to shut down weapons. The human dreadnought reappeared before him, its guns idle but glowing like stars. A voice followed, soft and firm. "You've seen enough. Tell them what you saw." And then it vanished again. Leaving Reth trembling, Alara watched the council fleet scatter, ships breaking formation and retreating as fast as they could. She turned to her officers. "Power down phase weapons. Should we pursue?" Asked her second in command. "No," Alara said quietly. "We are not conquerors." She gazed at the blue world below, calm and bright. "This was never about war. It was about memory," she added, "so they remember who we really are." Hours later, the last of the alien ships fled the solar system. Human fleets slipped back into invisibility. Returning to their silent watch, the stars looked peaceful again. But the galaxy would never see Earth the same way. For generations, the Council had believed humanity survived through luck and kindness. Now they knew the truth. Earth had chosen mercy over dominance. Ambassador Thrix recorded his final message to the Council archives. He spoke slowly, his voice filled with respect. "They could have destroyed us all," he said. "But they did not. The humans have power beyond our understanding, yet they choose restraint. And that restraint is what makes them greater than us all." Far beneath the moon, in the hidden hangars, Alara stood once more before the silent ships. Engineers powered them down. Lights fading one by one, she whispered to herself, "Let them tell their stories. Let them fear us if they must, as long as they never make the same mistake again." And above her, through the viewing glass, Earth turned slowly in the light of its star. Calm, radiant, and quiet. A planet that could destroy worlds, yet chose peace. The kind of peace that comes not from weakness, but from unimaginable strength. A peace that the galaxy would never forget. The news of the Council's defeat spread through the galaxy like wildfire. Worlds that had once laughed at Earth now whispered its name with awe. Trade routes shifted, armies paused, and rulers held secret meetings. No one wanted to anger the small blue planet that had stopped a fleet without firing a single real shot on the Council homeworld. Fear and confusion ruled the halls. Leaders argued endlessly, trying to understand what had happened. Some called for war, others begged for peace. Ambassador Thrix stood in silence as they shouted over each other. Finally, he spoke, calm and heavy with truth. "You cannot fight what you do not understand," he said. "And you do not understand the humans." He reminded them that Earth had every reason to destroy the fleet. They had the technology, the strength, and the opportunity. Yet they had chosen mercy. That was what frightened him most, the choice. Power restrained is power perfected, Thrix told them. But few listened. Pride still blinded them. Meanwhile, back on Earth, life continued as if nothing had happened. Cities glowed peacefully under the stars. Children played, scientists worked, and people laughed. No one outside the defense networks knew that the planet had come within seconds of war. To the world, peace had never been broken. But to Elara Miles, the memory of those moments lingered like a shadow. She stood again in the Earth Defense Command, watching the stars through the observation dome. Her officers approached quietly. "Madam, the Council has requested a meeting," one said. Elara nodded. "Prepare the chamber. This time," she knew they wouldn't come with arrogance. They would come with questions. Days later, the Council delegation arrived on Earth under strict neutrality. No weapons, no guards, only diplomats and advisors. As they entered the Grand Hall, they were greeted by calm human representatives. There were no threats, no anger, just respect. Elara herself stepped forward to meet Ambassador Thrix. He bowed slightly, and she returned the gesture. "Thank you for receiving us," he said. "After everything?" Elara smiled faintly. "You came to understand, not to apologize, yes?" Thrix nodded slowly. Yes, they sat across from each other. Two minds from two very different worlds. Thrix looked around the room, noticing human art, music, and books lining the walls. "You hide your strength behind beauty," he said. "Why?" Elara's eyes softened. "Because beauty reminds us why strength must be controlled." She explained that humanity had learned its lessons the hard way. That centuries ago, Earth nearly destroyed itself with war, greed, and hatred. When they finally united, they swore that power would never again rule over compassion. Their fleets existed not to conquer, but to prevent destruction. Their weapons were tools of peace, deterrence, not instruments of domination. And that was the truth the galaxy had never understood. Thrix listened in silence, the weight of her words heavy on his heart. "When we looked at you," he said quietly, "we saw kindness and thought it was weakness." Elara nodded. "Many have made that mistake." She leaned forward, her tone soft but sharp. "Our greatest weapon isn't our ships or our technology," she said. "It's our choice, the choice not to use them." The Council representatives exchanged uneasy glances. For the first time, they realized what humanity truly was. A species capable of unimaginable power if ruled by conscience. They feared that kind of strength, not because it threatened them, but because it reminded them what they could never be. After the meeting, Thrix requested one final favor. "May I see your world, not as a diplomat, but as a traveler?" he asked. Elara agreed, and together they visited cities, schools, and farmlands. They saw children studying the stars, dreaming not of conquest, but of understanding. They saw art celebrating life, not war. Thrix finally understood. Humanity's power came not from weapons, but from will, the will to build when others destroyed, the will to forgive when others sought revenge. Before he left Earth, Thrix stood before the great memorial at Geneva. Carved into stone were the words, "Peace is not given. It is chosen." He turned to Elara. "You are right," he said. "Mercy is the sharpest blade." Elara smiled gently. "It cuts deeper than fear." When Thrix returned to the Council, he carried a new message. He demanded that humanity be recognized as a Tier 0 prime civilization, a title reserved only for the most advanced and honorable species. After long debate, the Council agreed. From that day forward, Earth was declared untouchable. No army could invade, no world could threaten it. They became the silent guardians of peace, the balance in a chaotic galaxy. Generations later, children across the stars would study that day. The day the Council discovered humanity's true power. They would learn that power was not destruction, but restraint, not anger, but understanding, not dominance, but mercy. And somewhere in the vastness of space, Earth still watched. Its people still building, still dreaming, still guarding the fragile peace they had earned. Because humanity had nothing left to prove, the galaxy already knew that the strongest species are not the ones who conquer, but the ones who could and choose not to.